Hey guys, welcome back to Sports Talk. This is me, Navneeth Krishna, and well, it's a Friday evening. What do we have for you on this quick single and FanCode special? Well, quite a few to talk about for sure. For those of you joining in for the very first time, Sports Talk is your evening news partner. We're going to try to bring to you the latest in the world of sport. And what do we have lined up for you in this edition of Sports Talk? Well, what did Anushka do to get Virat Kohli and Kevin Peterson to stop talking on the Insta Live? What does Pat Cummins have to say with the big tournaments lined up for later this year? How are different sporting facilities coming together to fight the corona pandemic? And a little more. I'm going to take a few questions from you all as well, and I'll try to do a little bit of commentary that I love doing as an aspiring commentator myself. So all of this and plenty more on Sports Talks edition today as we head into the weekend. And well, for starters, in our hashtag on this day segment, what else but the T20 World Cup final, West Indies versus England in Calcutta. I took a flight to Calcutta hoping that India would be there, but West Indies got the better of India in the semi-final and they booked their spot in the final. And so I did go for that game to see this match, and what a match it turned out to be. England scored 155, Joe Root and Joss Butler, the only two really scoring some sort of runs. Carlos Brathwaite and Dwayne Bravo were brilliant with the ball, taking 3 wickets each. At a 155, and with the kind of power that the West Indians have, it was possibly advantage Windies at the halfway mark. And then what happened? Well, Marlon Samuels absolutely loves the big stage. He smashed 85 in just 60-odd deliveries, and he kept West Indies in the hunt. But they needed 19 of the last over. And the rest will go down as arguably one of the greatest overs in sporting history, in cricketing history at least. 6 of the first ball, 6, and then another 6, and he finished it off with a 4th 6. Carlos Brathwaite hit Ben Stokes for 4 sixes to help West Indies win the World Cup, and Ian Bishop went on to saying, Carlos Brathwaite, remember the name, history here for the West Indies. It almost gave me goosebumps because, quite simply put, Ian Bishop is one of the greatest commentators of our times, and was absolutely magical to hear him say that with that voice. And it was a special day for West Indies cricket for sure, and they lifted the World Cup. So that was the 3rd of April 2016. So that's what we have for you on our On This Day segment, and I'm hoping you got to see that game live when it did happen. If not, make sure you catch the highlights. Absolute classic. What's in the news? Well, going to start off with a little bit of the IPL. Pat Cummins is fairly optimistic, you'd have to say. It hasn't been called off yet is obviously the way he's looking at it. Pat Cummins was looking forward to a very exciting 2020 with the IPL as well as the T20 World Cup lined up later this year. But unfortunately, COVID-19 had other plans. Mind you, Cummins went for a record-breaking contract with the Kolkata Knight Riders in the auction in December, 15.5 crores, more than anyone else in the history of the IPL, and he was looking forward to an excellent season with them. And he's optimistic that it hasn't been called off and it will happen at some point of time, and he's hoping that he can come down to India and wear the KKR jersey. And he even mentioned that the T20 World Cup is still a good 6 to 7 months away, and a lot can change in these 6 months with the corona pandemic. And he's hoping that he can wear his cricket boots and get onto the cricketing field. So it's very nice to see the optimism with all the news that we're seeing at the moment right now. And fingers crossed, and I'm hoping that everything that Pat Cummins is hoping for, we get to see as well, just live cricket. So that's what Cummins is looking forward to. What about the news? We had our Prime Minister send out a little bit of a video earlier today at 9 a.m. And it's nice to see how the Indian coach Ravi Shastri, Harbhajan Singh and several other Sporting Force personalities and Indian cricketers have come out in support of the Prime Minister's request, as the Prime Minister would like to have every Indian citizen to go out to their balconies and make sure that they turn off their lights for 9 minutes at 9 p.m. on the 5th of April in an attempt to show solidarity, unity, and hoping that we as one India can fight the darkness that is upon us at the moment because of the coronavirus. And several big personalities have taken to Twitter to announce and to pledge their support, and also hoping that they can get the support from the rest of India as well. And so that was very nice to see. What else do we have? Well, Edgbaston has now become a center to test COVID patients, and it's wonderful to see how different sporting facilities around the world are now trying to figure out how they can, in their own way, provide support in fighting the pandemic in their respective areas. Some of the stadiums have been turned into testing centers. There are some that are just aiding as storing facilities, just to store the medical equipment that is needed at the moment. And well, the latest on that bandwagon is the Edgbaston Cricket Stadium, as they're using their car park more specifically to test patients in a drive-through testing process, as they would just drive through the gate, get themselves tested while they're still in the car, and would drive out. And doesn't happen in it probably just takes a few minutes for the entire process, and a very efficient method, and Edgbaston leading the charge, and hopefully many other stadiums will follow suit as well. What do we have now? Well, we're going to move to hashtag trending talks. What else do I have to talk about then? The Kevin Peterson, Virat Kohli Insta Live that happened earlier last evening. I spent a good 45 minutes on that chat, and it was a wonderful chat between two absolute guns of the game. They spoke about everything under the sun: quarantine, fitness, cricket, diet. They also spoke about some of the past games, the games that the two of them have played together for RCB. It was just wonderful to see them have the kind of banter that they did. And well, a showstopper will have to be when Anushka Sharma had to intervene and say, "Chalo, chalo, dinner time," because the two boys kept going on and on. It was Anushka's comment that popped up while the live was going on that got Kevin Peterson to say, "Okay, let's wind things up over here." So it was just great to see everything that they spoke about. And that certainly had plenty of eyeballs, almost 100,000 people, concurrent viewers watching the live. And that's just, it's Virat Kohli with 54 million followers on Instagram. You don't expect anything less, do you? It was wonderful to see the two of them have that little banter. And so that's what we have for you in our Trending Talk segment. Very quickly, I'm going to move to our final segment, hashtag Ask the Expert. Your favorite part of the Kevin Peterson and Virat Kohli live? Well, has to be Anushka's comment for sure. Chalo, chalo, dinner time. That is one. Two, I like what he said about turning vegetarian and how it's benefited him in not just his health, how he feels mentally, but also how it's benefited the game as well. And how his performance on the game has improved after he turned vegetarian, and how it actually started with the cervical spine issue that led to a bulged spine, and that started to impact his nerve that led to his little finger that he couldn't feel. So it was a pretty serious issue, and Virat Kohli took that drastic step of turning vegetarian, and ever since he's never looked back. So that was the other part that I really liked. And I liked the part about them going down memory lane, talking about the RCB days back in 2009 and 10 when Kevin Peterson played for the boys in red, and all the banter that they had around that. And even that little moment when Virat Kohli kept popping up that time when he dismissed Kevin Peterson as well. So plenty of good moments in that chat. Major stadiums to pledge support. Yeah, it wasn't just the Edgbaston Stadium, mind you, that is turning into a testing facility. There are about 80 stadiums, 125 mini stadiums in Bangladesh that have turned into testing facilities. The most famous stadium in Brazil, the Maracana in Rio, has turned into a testing facility. Real Madrid Santiago Bernabeu will store medical facilities. The Billie Jean King National Testing Center in Flushing Meadows will soon be converted. The Sports Authority of India also handed over the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium to the government to be converted into a testing facility for COVID-19. The Cardiff City Stadium car park. And what's wonderful to see is that the Sports Authority of India and the Board of Control for Cricket in India, the BCCI, said that they're happy and willing to turn all the cricket and sporting stadiums into quarantine facilities. And it's wonderful to see how everyone's coming together to fight this global crisis. My last one is, what other commentary snippets can you enact? Well, these are the three that I absolutely love. Ian Smith, an absolute gun commentator. And, well, England won the World Cup. England win the World Cup by the barest of margins. By the barest of all margins. Absolute ecstasy for England. Agony. Agony for New Zealand. And those words will remain etched in my memory for sure. Ian Smith was at his very best. Ravi Shastri, one of my favorite commentators. And Dhoni finishes off in style. A magnificent strike into the crowd. India lift the World Cup after 28 years. The parties start in the dressing room. And it's an Indian captain who's been absolutely magnificent in the night of the final. Who can forget those words? And like I said, Carlos Brathwaite, Ian Bishop, absolute gun. Remember the name. Just simple 3 words, struck a chord. So that's pretty much what I had for you on Ask the Expert. Thank you for all these questions, and I love these little requests coming in. We're going to try to do more as we move forward. Stay safe. Happy weekend. To be honest, I don't even know if it's the weekend or the weekday at the moment. It all feels pretty much like a blur. And we're just hoping we have a good time ahead, and we'll try to get through this lockdown period, and hopefully we put a rest to all of this, and there are good times and normal days ahead. Until now, enjoy your Friday evening, and I'm going to see you back for more tomorrow. See you.